5 minutes.
Your awareness may be powerful enough to control your instincts. Your instinct will be to remove your hand from the box.
It's your girl Meesh, and welcome to another episode of the Luv MEESH Podcast. And welcome to another episode of Luv MEESH Podcast. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about virtual reality, like VR, the meta universe, as well as The Sims, because I think they all kind of like are in the new world that we're moving towards. But before we get into that, hey loves, how have you been doing? What have you been up to? What projects have you started? What projects are you continuing? What's new? For me, I've been continuing to do yoga, and my stomach is as flat as it's ever been in my life. So between the turmeric and ginger shots in the morning, I started taking lime water in the morning and at night before bed. I did go to Whole Foods and get some fruits and vegetables, and I juiced 3 beets, and beets are really, really sweet. If you've never had a beet juice, try it. So I did 3 beets, some pineapples, because I cut up a pineapple, so a little bit of pineapples, some oranges, and agave. Just blended it together. My mom helped me strain it. I will usually use a rag. She was saying you can use a cheesecloth, or she has all different types of strainers. So I know I need to, I'm going to have to buy a whole bunch of stuff for my kitchen. You got an air fryer, strainers, everything's all organized. I'm like, okay, this is nice. I want to have a nice kitchen setup like that. So I don't know if it's a combination of the yoga or the different juices and different things that I've been doing, but yeah, I'm like, okay, I can get used to this. I thought I was just gonna have Winnie the Pooh belly my whole life. But other than that, it's too cold to go walking, so I don't really walk the park anymore. It's so cold out there, but whenever the sun is out, I go and get my sun. I'm sounding better, so the turmeric and ginger is working. I haven't been spitting up as much, so I'm just going to keep doing that. I got to re-up on my vitamins. My vitamins is gone. Vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, magnesium. I got to get some more colloidal silver. Oh, I got sea moss. I ordered some sea moss. I haven't tried it yet, but I smelled it, and it smells just like seaweed. So when I go to Publix, yes, I love Publix, they have these little seaweed chips, and I was asking my dad to taste it, and he didn't like it, but I love it. It's so salty. I love it. They're so thin, they melt right on your tongue. Like, I'm like, this little bag, they can give me a big family bag, and I'll eat the big family bag. And I remember Dr. Blair, Dr. Sebi, a lot of the greats are saying the food on the land does not match with our DNA. They keep telling us to get sea moss and seaweed. I'm like, okay, so are they basically telling us we freaking mermaids? Like, we come from the water? Like, why are we eating water vegetables as if we live in the water? And I remember there's this Disney movie about the mermaid boys. And when they were making dinner, it was like seaweed and kelp and stuff. And I always believe there's a truth, never lie, lie, never truth. And I'm like, these TV shows and these movies and stuff, they're really telling us the truth. But we just think it's entertainment, and we just look right over it, and like the answers are like right there. So it's almost like if they were being judged and God was like, why you didn't tell them the truth? They could literally be like, I did. You know, they thought it was a joke. And they wouldn't get in trouble. But, so that's, what I've been up to. Send up a little prayer for me, because tax season is about to commence. And all these employees, we about to be crazy for about a good 4 months. So, but that's good. As long as you're growing and evolving and spreading love, you're on the right path. And I hope you see the fruits of your labor. So a local business shout out. This episode will be my favorite moving company. So I used to have my dad and my brother help me move. And my boo back in the day would call up the homies. But my dad's getting older, he's back in his knees. My brother has a family of his own, like really, really busy. So a male friend of mine recommended Robert. And I've just been using Robert ever since. He's fast, the prices are reasonable, and he's very professional. I give 5 out of 5 stars. So if you are in Florida, I want to ask, why are you still moving? Call the movers. Leave it up to the professionals and save your energy for unpacking. So I want to leave a link for the business. It's newbeginningsmovingllc.com. Highly recommend. So on the website, it says, let us move you to your new beginning. Call now for a free quote to get started. Residential moves, office moves, and storage. About us. New Beginnings Moving LLC is locally owned and operated out of Jacksonville, Florida. We are licensed and insured to go anywhere in Florida. We offer competitive prices, outstanding customer service, so you can stay focused on your new beginning. Telephone number is 904-888-4793. Email is newbeginnings with an S, movingllc@gmail.com. Go check them out. Robert is amazing. Okay. Let's see. Moving on to movies, TV, show, or YouTube recommendations for this episode. Is going to be on the Disney app. Eternals is finally out. I'm like a new comic fan now. I was never really into comics, but they are pretty cool. I loved everything about the Eternals movie. It just goes above and beyond. Like in my personal life, I'm learning about humans and angels and aliens and gods and higher gods. And I feel like this movie is like telling us again the truth, but we just think it's a freaking movie. So it seems like to me we're getting higher and higher into higher beings. Like most movies are about humans, and then you have X-Men, it's about super beings and aliens, and now we're starting to talk about gods and creator beings, and I'm sure the levels keep going higher and higher and higher, but I don't want to spoil it for you. Eternals is amazing. There's going to be more episodes. Once the credits roll up, keep watching because it's a final clip at the end. I almost missed it. And I was just so excited about Eternals. I also started watching season 2 of the Umbrella Academy. And I really kind of like the Umbrella Academy because I'm like a sci-fi / comic superhero, love, romance. Like those are like my genres. Futuristic. And I really like how they were like saving the world. They have different powers. They have different things going on in their lives. It's just like weird. It's mysterious. There's fighting. And I'm on episode 2. I fell asleep looking at it last night. And I'm just like so lost. I'm like, that's really what's going to keep me watching. Like I got to piece it together because if I could figure it out, I would be bored like already. So yeah, check out Eternals and also the Umbrella Academy. Eternals is on the Disney app and the Umbrella Academy is on Netflix. A podcast that I want to recommend is Cocktails with Kiki and Medina on YouTube, or if you do podcasts, I'm pretty sure they're on all the podcasts. But on Anchor, they actually allow me to do video now with Spotify through my Anchor app. So I'm going to start doing video. And it is pretty cool. Like, I usually just listen to podcasts while I'm washing dishes or cleaning up or doing my hair or, whatever, walking, exercising, whatever. Because I like listening. I like the girl chat. I like learning and stuff like that. And I like multitasking. And I guess I have my phases. Sometimes I'm watching movies and TV shows. Sometimes I'm all into music. Sometimes I'm all into books. Sometimes I'm all into podcasts. So just kind of shuffle it around. But this particular podcast is, I think it's mostly for the girls, or it's kind of like girl chat. It's juicy girl talk. They give advice and tips and stories. It's all about sex and relationships, sex and cocktails, sex stories. It's like, hello, cocktails. And I just realized growing up, for me, like, sex was so taboo. It was like not even talked about. And that's kind of like my favorite subject of all time. So I thought that was like ironic. The thing that no one ever focused on is the thing that I grew to love. I'm even taking a sexologist class just to learn more about it, because there's a physical element. I learned the spiritual element because of my Christian background. Of course, the physical element, but then there's more. There's like the tantric element, and it's just so much more. There's the mental element. There's just so much more to it. And I guess because I'm a nerd and I like to learn, I'm going to, keep digging into all the different. But this one's more like girl chit chat. It's just like so fun and juicy. And I don't know. It's like talking to your girlfriend on the phone, girl chat. And then for the Rinky healing and prayer focus for this particular episode, again, it's going to be for the tax preparers because it's that time. And for speedy refunds for the people that are still waiting on their refunds from last year, and we're about to start a new year. Like, the IRS has been back the fuck up. And I just feel so bad for these people. Like, they'll call in like, where is my money? And I'm like, honey, we are delayed. They have updated the website to show there's about 1.2 million accounts that they are still working on for amended returns, and about 222,000 for regular returns. So there is no, we have the numbers, but we don't know how long it's going to take for them to get their numbers. And I just be feeling so bad for them. You can hear the kids in the background. Some of them are sick with COVID. Some of them have lost their job. And it's like, dang. Just be thankful, because there's some people out there really, really struggling and hurting. All right. So those were the 4 things that I like to do on the podcast now. A local business shout out, movie or TV recommendation, podcast recommendation, and prayer Reiki focus. So now we can get into the podcast. Okay. Let me exit out of some of these. Okay, so this article comes from usdigitalpartners.com. Digital marketing, the future of virtual reality in business. Alrighty, so this was updated on April 22nd, 2021. We hear about new advances in technology every day, from intelligent personal assistants like Amazon's Alexa to self-driving car companies like Google are creating, and everything in between. Today's smartphones are the central of our digital lives. It may be hard to imagine life without one, but 10 years from now, a new device may take the place of the beloved smartphone. If you haven't seen one in person, you've probably at least seen commercials for virtual reality headsets. Now imagine having a device that looks like ordinary eyeglasses, but with settings for virtual and augmented reality. How will virtual reality and business shape the future? In this post, we will define and discuss the impact of augmented reality and mixed reality and their use cases in business. So this one is really focusing on the business aspect. We know that it's already for entertainment. You got the PlayStation, you got the Wii, you got all of those. We know it's going to be entertainment, but these technology companies are moving into sectors that they've never moved in before. They're moving into eyewear. They're moving into car and shipping and the business world. And I mean, they're really coming after all of our jobs, y'all. Like, it's no longer technology for entertainment. Technology is about to take over every sector. Okay, so defining virtual, augmented, and mixed reality. Let's take a step back. What exactly do the terms virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality mean? We'll dive into specifics like virtual reality and business, but here's a starting point. Virtual reality, VR, is an artificial environment that is created with software and presented to the user in such a way that the user suspects, believes, and accepts it as a real environment. Now, that's problematic to me. They're already letting us know they want this to be real. And by the way, I'm a huge technology head, but I think you should always tell people the pros and cons of it, and never push them away from nature and reality itself, because that's what all these movies about. The Matrix, machine versus human. The Terminator, machine versus human. It's like they're constantly warning us, use these things as tools. Don't let these things become everything that you forget about nature and trees and human interaction and spirituality and your connection with God. It's like a slippery slope if you ask me. But let me get back to it. So the simple fact that they said in such a way that you believe and accept it as a real environment, I don't like that. Often these environments are created with computers, but can also be composed of 360-degree videos, also known as immersive or spherical videos. Augmented reality, the origin of the word augmented is augment, which means to add something. Augmented reality is the integration of digital overlays with the user's environment in real time. Unlike virtual reality, which creates a totally artificial environment, augmented reality uses the existing environment and overlays new information on top of it. Mixed reality, MR, also referred to as a hybrid reality. Mixed reality augments the real world with virtual objects that aim to look as if they are really placed within the world. The above photo of the man and the fish are a good example. So it's a man in his kitchen. He has the glasses on his head, and there's fish flying around his head. Well, we know fish are in water, in lakes and rivers, in a fish tank, and they can't just be in the air. So that's how they integrated the two. Okay, extended reality. Extended reality is a new umbrella catch-all term that refers to a wide array of current and future spatial computer technologies. The history. You're probably thinking that VR, AR, and MR are new concepts, right? Think again. Interestingly, the concept of virtual reality has been around for decades. In the 1950s, this is another red flag for me. In the 1950s, are you kidding me? I was born in 1987, and by the time I hit second grade, we had 1 or 2 computers in our classroom that everybody would have to take turns sharing. You mean to tell me that someone was already using virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality back in the 1950s when we had to share 2 freaking computers? So this is why I keep telling y'all, the government, the dark web, somebody, I don't know, the aliens, they have more advanced technology than what they showcase. Do y'all remember watching, what was the name of that show? The Inspector Gadget? He had an Apple Watch on his hand. We finally have Apple Watches. We were kids looking at this. It took years for us to finally be able to have an Apple Watch of our own. Okay. Y'all gonna believe me one day. In the 1950s, a stenographer named Morton Hing envisioned a theater experience that would stimulate all the 60s. In 1960, took him 10 years, he built a prototype of the vision called the Sensorama. It had a stereoscopic display, fans, odor, emitters, stereo speakers, and a moving chair. Ivan Sutherland invented the first virtual reality and augmented reality head-mounted display, HMD, in 1968. Again, where has this been all this time? Have y'all experienced that? And the closest thing that I can say to that is at Disney World. Now, when you do go to Epcot, and you like say you want to have a Spider-Man experience, they do put you in the chairs. Everybody line up, you sit in the chair. It'd be about 4 or 5 rows. And you look at the screen with your 3D glasses, and it goes up, down, back, forward, left, right. They let the steam come in the room, or the heat come in the room, or the mist come in the room. Sometimes you smell things. So about the closest they let us experience it is with entertainment, with big corporations, but never on the home front, personal level. So I'll continue. A lot happened in between, but fast forward to the 1990s. You have movies like The Matrix, The Explorer, Virtual Reality, and Sega VR. Although it never made it to consoles, Google Street View came out in 2007. Facebook bought Oculus for $2 billion in 2014, and Google invested $500 million into Magic Leap in 2016. All that to say that the progression of the VR, AR, and MR has exploded in the past 10 years and only will continue to grow. If you have money like that, I would highly suggest to invest in this virtual reality stuff. I really just see it continuing to grow. They're buying land. Like, people are purchasing land. Like right now, you can buy virtual land. Like on top of your house right now, you can buy the virtual land on top of your real house. So I'm like, okay, where is this going? Like, what do they see that I can't see? Because I can't put it together yet. It's like, I want to go to Paris. I don't want to buy a Paris experience. I want to get on the fucking plane and go there. Like, it hasn't hit me how big this is going to be, because I just don't see how people are going to be buying into a secondhand version of reality over real reality. Like, even if robots become like a thing where you can have your own, let's say, sex robot, I still don't think that will replace a real human. Like you legit chose the robot over the human? Like, I don't know. I don't see that being a thing, but somebody does. Okay, so let's take a deeper look at each of these technologies and the practical uses. Virtual reality. This virtual reality we're talking about is the one created by computers. It allows you to experience and interact with a 3D world that isn't real by putting on a head-mounted display and some form of input tracking. VR experiences can be created through tools like Unreal Engine, Unity, A-Frame, the latter being a web framework that is easy to learn and fast for web developers to pick up. VR is experienced through a number of devices, including the HTC Vive and Oculus, geared for gaming audiences. GoPro's Omni is a solution for capturing, stitching, and publishing virtual reality content. Cheaper options include Google Cardboard, which can be used by any phone, and Google Daydream, which is a faster, high-resolution version of Cardboard, but it's only available on select phones. Virtual reality and business use cases. Virtual reality is huge in the gaming industry. Told ya, it's just an overall cool experience to put on one of these headsets. But aside from that, you may be wondering if there are other practical VR business uses. Now, I'm going to admit, my niece has a VR. I finally used it for the first time, and it was pretty cool. She already knew me and my personality. She put me in like a yoga studio. The floor was hardwood, like bamboo. It was like open windows all around the space. I saw like a bamboo tree in there. It was just like really, it looked like I could say, okay, class, let's begin our yoga experience. It really looked like a yoga studio. And as much as I love The Sims, I could so see this be the Sims 5. Like, instead of it being on the Wii or the Xbox and stuff like that, instead of it being on your phone, these are going to be the next big things. Like, I can even see them integrating virtual reality. Like, you have your Xbox, and then there's like a virtual reality eye set that you have to put on that connects with the Xbox. So kind of how they did Connect. I think Connect was the first wave where it kind of looks at you and puts you externally. You know, like I played a dancing game, so the eye thing for the Xbox was looking at me, and then it translated my body on the screen, and as I moved, it would give me points. I think that was step 1. Step 2 is actually going to be putting it on our head. So instead of it being like an Xbox external device that sits there, we're going to be wearing this stuff. Like, I feel like they spoon feed us bit by bit exactly where they want us to go. So I can see Sims 5 being, okay, so it's not on the Xbox, it's not on your phone, it's not on the computer, it's in this virtual reality thing, which is going to be so freaking cool. And I'm okay with virtual reality just as long as it stays as entertainment, that it doesn't take over people's lives and make them more sick, because they're not really telling us the truth about electricity and 5G and how it's messing with our bodies. And as long as we can still like focus on the real world, like it's like this is like if this becomes mandatory for work, like right now I have to use a laptop for work. In the olden days, you would go into the building and work. Now you have a laptop to work. What's going to be next? A 5G work headset where they can monitor my heart rate. It's just because it's going to become too much, and I don't know. I don't want it to be like that, where you can really be controlled to the fullest. Like no. Okay, so let me continue. The most obvious industry that could be successful with virtual reality is entertainment. But aside from video game lovers, imagine a consumer experience, a travel design, or best at a sporting event without ever having to leave. Now, that's pretty cool, especially with COVID. Like, if we could do a concert, but I don't think we need a virtual reality to do that. Like, if I could pay $50 or whatever and see my favorite person performing, that would be great. Now, going together with your homegirls and making it a whole thing, it's a whole adventure. That's great too. But even like being able to see something exclusively is still an experience. Okay. So I really still don't feel like you should have to put on a headset to do something like that. There are other uses for VR in business. For example, virtual reality could be used in staff training for professionals who work in industries like real estate or construction. Now, that's my field. So I'm excited to see, like, instead of the person going to the home, am I going to have to go to the home my own? And then they'll put on the virtual reality. I'll put on my virtual, and I'm walking around for them. This could be good for people that are relocating. But if you're right in the city, it's nothing like going to a place and looking at it for yourself and seeing if you like it. Like, even if I see a million pictures, okay, when can I come in and see it? Like, I literally want to see where I'm going to be laying my head. But that's just me. So real estate or construction, real estate, architect, and construction businesses could use VR to show what a finished environment would look like. They could also be placed in real world scenario, and through these immersive experiences to have a better memory retention, according to the paper published through Syracuse University. I also think a good idea for that would be, I didn't mean to do that. It clicked on the, there was a video playing on the screen. Okay, have a better memory retention according to the paper published through Syracuse University. VR can be used to simulate working with expensive equipment and an array of dangerous environments, as seen in virtual reality demo for safety training video above, without any of the risk. Now, that's where I was going with that. I do feel like if some things happen, since I don't have a real life experience, I'm going to be lost. Like, I think virtual reality could be cool, like put on the headset and imagine yourself in an airplane, and the airplane's, going to crash, and, how would you put on your mask, and, how would you get out of the plane? So putting you in real life situations without actually putting your body in danger, I think that would be helpful. Or like being in a car, your car going off of the bridge, you can see you're in a car and you're going into the water. What would you do? What would you grab? How would you move? How would you get away? I think that would be pretty cool. Or, someone breaking in and, just having this whole life, in danger experience, but not really being there, like being camping in the woods and a bear come up. So I think it could be, it could be useful. We just need to make sure that we use it the right way. And watch, somebody gonna scoop up all those ideas. Watch. Virtual reality has also taken off in the healthcare secretary with the transition from trials and pilots to general use. It has also been adopted to help treat patients with anxiety disorders by getting a better idea of how they react to stress-inducing situations while remaining safe and sound inside a virtual environment. It's even being used to help diagnose patients with visual or cognitive impairments via eye tracking. So see, these are the things that I like to see it being used for. Great. Make sure it's not too much more, guys. Augmented reality technologies add something to the existing real-life environment. There are several different AR patterns, and essentially the user is adding a layer of data in front of their eyes that may be somewhat transparent. Think back to Tony Stark's Iron Man helmet and the screen projected in front of his eyes. He could read the data, augment it, and still see what was beyond it in reality. So again, I say these movies aren't movies. This is technology that probably celebrities have access to that we probably can't afford. It's in a movie, and they're finally bringing it down to the consumer base. And this is where they end up making the most money. You can have one product and charge $200,000 for it. You're only going to get so many customers that can afford that. You break that price down to maybe 1,000, and you can meet the market because everybody's getting these iPhones at 1,000, and you become trillionaire overnight. So as much as they want to keep this stuff secret for the high class, they're only going to be able to really make the money when they break it down to the consumer level. Okay, so marker-based AR, also called image recognition, uses a camera and some type of visual markers such as QR to decode to produce a result only when the marker is sensed by a reader. Markerless AR is the most commonly used for mapping directions, finding nearby businesses, and other location-centric mobile applications. Projection-based AR works by projecting artificial light onto real-world surfaces. Superimposed-based AR either partially or fully replaces the original view of an object with a newly augmented view of that same object. So my sister was telling me about this movie called Anon, A-N-O-N. And in the movie, they would do everything like, I don't know if it was in their eye or their hand, but you will be looking through his eyes. And as a person walks by, it's scanning their face and telling you their name. He was like in front of like a coffee or donut stand, and he bought the coffee like with his eyes, typed in his pen, the money came out of his account, and I don't know, it was just like everything was just like through. It was like a oh shit, it was a digital world. That's where we're headed. That movie Anon. Okay, so in the movie, the girl, she wanted to remain anonymous. She didn't want everybody down the street knowing everything about her just by walking by and the computer scanning her. So she just never uploaded any more of her information after 15. And so, this guy tried to frame her, basically, and say she killed somebody, but she didn't. People would hire her to erase memories that they didn't want to get out there, and it could be good or bad. And so she was really good at that, and he wanted to frame her. But the whole point of that movie was, dang, everywhere you look, it was like advertisement, commercials. Like, we don't even like commercials with music. We don't like commercials on TV. We don't like commercials on YouTube. Just imagine, because they're starting with the headsets now. I look at a lot of YouTube technology things, and this one guy showed there's a contact already created. A contact lens for your eyeball that does what the VR does. So again, they're already ahead, but no one's advertising that one. You never heard of that one, have you? I remember Google tried to bring out the glasses, but it was too soon. I was so hyped and ready for it. It was just above my pay. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So it was not a hit in the consumer sector yet. So they took it to the business world. So you can go to your doctor, and if your doctor has on glasses, you may or may not know, he's looking at all of your patient data. You can't see it, but he can see it through the glasses in front of him in thin air. And he's able to kind of go over your history and stuff. I can see this. I can see them, just because I don't know, I'm just like a tech baby. I can see the Apple iWatch progressing into this virtual reality world. I can see virtual reality actually, once they do those contacts, being non-existent. Because then it'll be like, how people are touching things in the air and they're moving things around, like, I feel like that's where we're headed. But I don't know if the watch will make it do that, if it's going to be the glasses, if it's going to be the phone, if they're going to connect it to your heart or some shit. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we cannot forget about nature. We cannot forget about spirit. We cannot forget about God and the animals and just human connection. Like, the more and more and more we move to this computer world, I think we're kind of losing it, which is scary. The first experience with any new technology often tend to be tied closely with gaming and entertainment, but industry use has been outpacing consumer products. In a 2020 report created by VR Intelligence, 65% of the AR companies surveyed said that they are working on industrial applications. I told you. While only 30% are working on consumer products and software. Welders, plumbers, mechanics, oil workers, and others who need to be heads up and hands-free in factory and fieldwork operations can use AR headsets like Darky. AR headsets have sensors that help detect things like pressure buildup in pipes or errors in complex wiring networks. Augmented reality business users can also grab and move holograms just like physical objects. OMG, it's already here. Can grab and move holograph objects. Oh my God. Business in the home and do-it-yourself industries can take advantage of technologies like Google Tango that enables devices like your smartphone or tablet to detect their position relative to the world around them. Imagine customers who want to renovate their home but want to see how a piece of furniture fits in a room or paint color on a wall before actually purchasing the technology. Similar to virtual reality, AR has also been taking off in healthcare and could help alert surgeons and nurses alike to risk or hazards. Adoption of these emerging technologies have been swift, with the value of the AR market forecast to increase 38% annually until 2025. Now, something about 2025, y'all. I follow like super soldiers who have been cloned. I follow like psychics that can remote view. Like, I just be on whatever. Y'all want to live on this 3D earth, stay here. But I be on some extraterrestrial stuff. And they're explaining how med beds are around and they are available. But the powers that be want to charge for them. But the powers that have created them wants them to be free for everyone. So if you have cancer, get in the med bed for seconds, minutes, if not hours, and boom, you're cured. Lose your leg, get in the med bed. If, second, minute, hours, boom, your leg came back. So a lot of things have been pointing at 2025. Super Soldier, he thinks, you can check him out on YouTube. He thinks it's going to start around 2025. But the other lady that I follow, she thinks it's not going to be available until like later, like 40s and 50s. I'm just excited that the technology exists. When they're going to drop it, I don't know. But I already believe in stuff like this. And for it to finally come, it's going to be like, I always be feeling like, y'all are so behind. Like, catch up. Like, I really do be feeling like I'm from another world. Because it's like I'm constantly waiting for things to catch up. And they're just so slow and behind. But anyways, mixed reality. Mixed reality is a combination of virtual reality and augmented reality. It allows the user to see 3D objects as if they were actually there. MR is a much newer concept and not readily accessible like the VR and AR. Microsoft's HoloLens 2 is trying to change that by bringing mixed reality technology to the masses by offering a comfortable $3,500 device. I told you. Offering a wider field of view as well as eye and hand tracking. This device, targeted towards the enterprise sector, has made leaps and bounds upon its original augmented headset. Mixed reality business use. From gaming to city planning to educating doctor and patients, mixed reality will have a lot of practical uses down the road. In the education sector, mixed reality can be used to enhance students' ability to learn and process information by offering them virtual objects which they can manipulate. They can study and learn in a more immersed way. I agree with that 50-50. Before the cell phone, I could remember as many numbers as I needed to by heart. Just by memory, blah, 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 there's the number. Post the cell phone, I got 911. I got my old house phone numbers that we don't even use anymore. I got my parents' cell phone numbers and mine. And that's about it. it seems like maybe memory is leaving the more technology we use, which is not, it's not a good thing. That's not a good sign. We want to use more of our brains, not less. Let's see. Companies like Renault Trucks are integrating MR to help employees identify issues in the quality control stage more easily and guide them through the most complex operations. See, that's the part I don't like. Control, quality control, my ass. On the healthcare front, Philips is leveraging MR for image-guided, minimally invasive procedures. For patients, this technology allows for smaller incisions, which equates to faster recovery and better overall experience for hospitals. This form of treatment allows them to treat more patients at a lower cost. Ain't no lower cost. It's supposed to be free. The angels, aliens, whatever you want to call them, they want this stuff to be free. And someone still keeps trying to bring in money. What's in store for your business? While virtual reality and mixed reality and augmented reality becoming a part of our everyday lives may seem far off to you, Healthier Bellini of Goldman Sachs Research. If you don't know who Goldman Sachs is, okay. Research expects virtual and augmented reality to become an $80 billion market by 2025. So again, if you have the money, this is where it's going to be going. That's roughly the size of the desktop PC market today. So in other words, you remember how we started with the flip phone, the big cell phones, and then it migrated? I feel like the next stage for the cell phone is going to be VR. And I don't think people are going to have cell phones anymore. I think they're going to have VR. And have you noticed, like, T-Mobile has internet in the home now? So instead of you going to Comcast, Xfinity, like all these internet people, you're going to cell phone companies now. It's like they see what's coming, and they're going to offer their own internet to people so they can do bundles. Have your cell phone with us, have your internet with us, have your VR with us, have your security with us. Like, do y'all see where this is going? Okay. Others are predicting even higher numbers for virtual reality in business. As the growth rate continues and technologies become more affordable, more and more businesses will be investing in these as part of their digital strategies. If you want to learn more about how new technologies in general can benefit your business and customers, get in touch with us. This was by Daniel Carterson. He did an amazing job with this essay on virtual reality, and I wanted to focus on the business side because we already know entertainment, but what I'm trying to explain is this is coming into the business world. It's coming into all sectors. This is the future. Like, if I wanted to open up a store, I don't have the business credit for the store. I don't have the business loan. I don't have the business capital. However, when this VR kind of rolls out a little more, I can buy a digital piece of land, and right on top of my apartment, it could say Love Me LLC. You can come in and it can be a whole virtual store the way that I want it digitally. I just can't afford it realistically. I can have shelves. I can have, digital employees. Do y'all see where this is going? I can have my products with my labels on the shelves. You can have a whole store experience on top of my home or apartment, and you order it and boom, I ship it to you. Because all I really have is my products and shipping them. Like, do you see where this is going? I can see it. I can see it. So, yeah, if you're into like art and stuff, tap into the digital. I remember my best friend was going to Art Institute for digital. Like, this is like right up her alley. She's like so at home. Like, for the artists, it's your time. They have those NFTs out. So instead of just drawing stuff, like, y'all literally can make money for originals, and you can sell copies. Like, what? Really? So if I have a real car right now, I can sell that real car for money. But with NFTs, they make more because you have the original. You can sell the original, and you can also sell copies. You getting more money, honey. So I don't know. I think it's a catch-22. Like, I see a lot of good things happening with this virtual reality. But with anything, there's going to be the light sector and the dark sector. So while everybody wants to talk about the light, okay, what are the creepy things that are going to happen with virtual reality? Are people going to be able to hack into your virtual reality and look at you? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it's always, you can't have the good without the bad. You can't have the bad without the good. They're going to come together. So, I have some links to different YouTube and podcasters that I listen to that were talking about virtual reality and stuff. And I was going to put in clips, but where are we right now? I think it'll be too long, so I'll just leave the links there. All of them were pretty much saying the same thing. You could use virtual reality to your advance, stay ahead of it now, learn about it now, don't get left behind. Like our elders right now, they're like, I don't know how to work this cell phone, I don't know how to work this computer. Like, don't let that be you. This is coming. Go ahead and get you some books, look up some stuff, learn about this stuff, because it is the future. Stay ahead of the game. And then they also say that, don't lose touch of the real world. You need to go outside and breathe real air. You need to, experience life outside of virtual. Like, we don't want to end up like Wall-E, where they just sat on their ass and became these fat humans that were unhealthy and didn't know how to walk or plant or do anything. Like, they just solely relied on machines. Like, we don't want that to be our future. But most importantly, I feel like that's control. Like, what if they say you need some type of passport to get into virtual world? And what if to get that passport, you have to have the shot, for example? Like, that's just too much control. And then you need the virtual reality to go to work. You need it to go to the grocery store. Do you see how this can start to get tricky? Like, that's control. So the person that owns that avenue, they're going to have all the money, all the control. I don't know. Balance with everything. Make sure that you unplug. Get in nature, get some sun, get some fresh air, meditate, keep in touch with spirit, God, source. I just feel like it's becoming so many distractions. We don't need anything else to distract us. Anxiety is like a everyday word now. It's crazy. Everybody has anxiety now, which it could come from stress and life and things that are going on. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's electricity, it's internet, it's 5G, it's radio. Like, I got a podcast coming on that they have been lying to us for so long. If you really realize every sickness that you ever had, Dr. Sebi was right. Yes, it is mucus, but why? Because this electricity is messing with our electromagnetic biofield. And that messes with us on a microscopic level with our cells. You have protons, neutrons, electrons. Hello. If that's in every single cell, every single organ, every single everything, that's it. That's you, honey. That means somebody could be in control of frequency and make you sick. But nobody want to talk about that. They can turn up the frequency and make you sick. They can turn down the frequency and make you feel like you feel okay. That's, again, control, population control, power. Like, it's a whole hot mess. But I wanted to go over one more thing, which was the game is life. And then I'll be pretty much done. Because I forgot I have Goodreads. Did I cancel out of it? I think I canceled out of it. Let me see. The game is life. Future of reality. I think I canceled out of it. Oh no. Let me see if it's on my other one. I have like 3 browsers. I have like Safari, Ecosia, and DuckDuckGo. Let me see, was it in here? Spiritual. Oh, there go my eyeglasses. Okay, Safari. Really? Did I get rid of it? I'm just going to have to pull it back up. So let me see. Goodreads. The game is... Okay, let me sign into my Goodreads. Is it Goodreads? Yes, it is Goodreads. And my books... Let me see. The game is life. How do I get to my... highlight. So on Goodreads.com, whatever book you read, whatever you be highlighting and stuff, it keeps the stuff for you so you can refer to it. And I got quite a few books in here. So let's see, that's number 9. I forgot about this. Y'all, I've been reading. I done read a lot of books. Let's see. Here it is. The Game is Life by Terry Scott. This is the most amazing book I've ever read in my entire life. Like, right up there with the Bible, y'all. I'm so serious. Okay. So, I just want to read some of my highlights. Like, I know I was trying to explain the book, and it probably was like, what is she talking about? So, hopefully, these highlights will make it make sense, okay? It's not, you're not going to get it because it's not the whole book, but just stay with me. Which in the game means intuition and listening to your gut. Lilith, confidence, power, beauty. We are born into a virtual reality, and for the entire time we're in it, we believe the game world is real. We grow up, fall in love, have families, and experience a full lifetime. When we die, we're certain it's all been genuine. Still, I believe that we take something into the game with us, something from deep inside our being that we can't control. Now, these are different clips, so they don't go together. I'm going to watch his play because my gut tells me some big things are going to happen. She grinned, and my gut is never wrong. So to me, that was saying, like, always listen to your gut. Like if this is a video game, your gut is your higher self. Like, girl, listen to me. I really know what's going on. I need you to listen to me. Earth at 12:21 a.m. And this was on Earth, like us now. The game date, which is the people on the outside, because when you're on Earth, they basically put you to sleep on this machine, and it's like feeding you and stuff. But you're only in there for like a week or 3 weeks, but you end up living 80 years. So it goes by so fast, but again, they got to keep your body alive. So on Earth, when their body is asleep, it's 12:21 a.m., but in the game, that would be December 21st, 2012. See how that worked out? My advice is this: don't try for first place. Do everything you possibly can to finish as low in the ranking as possible. EARTH is the acronym which stands for Educational Avatar Reality Training Habitat. I feel like the man that wrote The Game is Life, because in the book The Game is Life, there was a character that wrote a book for himself, and every time he cycled back, and when he cycled back, he picked up the book from like this old man at 80 that had died, but it literally was him, the last game. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's so, like, why haven't they made a movie of this? If they make a video game for this, I will buy it and I will play it. If they do the movie, I will watch it, but I really think it could be a series because there's so many books. Like, if they can do The Matrix, then they can do this. This is like right up there with the Matrix, if you ask me. So Educational Avatar Reality Training Habitat. I feel like he really knew the truth. He put it in a book form. And in the book, he told us that he put it in the game. It was just so interesting. Like, oh my God. So let me keep going. Thanks a million for listening. There's a million podcasts in the world. You clicked on this one, this one, to hear what I have to say. I hope universe has a special message for you. You can reach me on Linktree at /love.meesh. I hope you have a better than great day. Love ya. Talk to you later. Bye.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction. And all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you!